Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kim Doyle, and welcome to another video. We're going to go in a little different direction today, and I want to talk about 7 things that I have ditched after 50. And I will officially tell you I am 54. But this all started really kicking in once I turned 50. Here's a little story. I remember I was talking to one of my sister's best friends. This was at my niece's high school graduation, which was almost 2 years ago. And her friend hadn't turned 50 yet. And I'm like, oh, I love it. And she was like, really? And I think it's, yeah, your body, you're aging and all that good stuff. But man, it is just gold. I love who I'm becoming and who I have become. So without further ado, here are the 7 things that I have ditched since turning 50. The first one is saying yes when I mean no. And I used to be one of those people that it would I'd have to get pushed and pushed and pushed until I said no. Not anymore. I just say no. Here's a little example, and this is what I mean. And I am actually living with my dad right now. He's 80. I had come back from Costa Rica, and my mom passed away about 6 years ago, and on his own, he's got this big house. I came back because of his health. And so it's interesting. He's very chatty. I like quiet time, but that's a whole other video. Anyway, so last year he had thought about selling the house. He had listed the house for sale, and the realtor had come up and done an open house, and they were going to schedule another one. And so my dad comes in one day and he goes, maybe we could make the realtor and her friend, some sandwiches or something to eat or something. And I go, making them sandwiches. That's the way my brain works. And before you think I'm like this ruthless, cold, I don't want to do anything, but I'm like, no, I've got a job. I'm working, and I'm not making food for an adult who knows her schedule and can prepare and eat on the way up. That's not my job. And he was like, well, okay then. So it's a lot easier for me to say no instead of saying yes because of an obligation or feeling like I have to do it. So I don't say yes anymore if I don't want to. And I learned this, and you're going to hear this phrase a lot, which is something my therapist taught me. And we'll get into that also in another video. But when you take care of yourself, it is always in the benefit of the other person. So there we go. So that's the first thing. I don't say yes when I mean no. Even if it's simply, I don't want to, right? Gold. So much easier to do at this stage in my life. The second thing is chasing hustle culture. And I had a newsletter, F the Hustle, which is now The Spark, because I was so tired of this. And I started in online marketing in 2008, and it was predominantly men. And it was just this, Gen X here. Okay, this is a Breakfast Club quote for you, and it's, you got to be number one. We don't tolerate any losers in this family. Your intensity is for shit. That was, I almost said Andrew McCarthy. Not Andrew McCarthy, Emilio Estevez, the wrestler. But no, I don't want to hustle anymore. I've done it. I work hard. I'm committed to what I'm doing, and I love my white space. You will soon see, as soon as it gets warmer, I will probably record some videos from the pool. My happy place is in the water. I like to float. I like to read. I like my downtime. I do not want to be constantly proving myself or feeling this need to go into productivity mode 12 ways sideways. It's unnecessary. I will not participate in hustle culture because every time I have, it's bitten me in the ass. All right, so I also want to share a quote from my therapist. She shared with me. There is an anthropologist named Angie Arian, and she said that women's natural pace is medium to slow, which is what we hit at midlife. And now you might hear me, and you can probably tell I'm pretty animated. I'm not like this mellow, calm personality. However, I get to be this because I take the time, right? Because I take the time to kick back and float and read or watch Netflix or go for a walk or have quiet time or soul-filling time with friends. So anyways, number 2, I don't chase hustle culture. I'm not here to prove myself to anyone but myself. Number 3 is pretending I'm okay when I'm not. I don't want to say I grew up this way, but definitely a people pleaser and didn't want to impose on people. And this was something that was really, really hard for me to get through. When I lost my husband, I was reliant on family and friends to help with the kids and my work schedule or, things around my house, all of those things. I became very dependent on people, and it felt like a weakness. It felt like a failure. Now Nope, not anymore. I have no problem saying, no, I'm sad, or I can't talk right now, or I need space to myself, whatever it is, or reaching out, whether it's to a friend or a mentor or my therapist, who is my mentor slash therapist at this stage. And just reaching out and saying, I'm sad. I don't know what's going on. I need to talk this through. I need to work this out. So there is no more pretending. Not that I ever pretended, but I held myself back. And we'll actually get into that in the last point. So number 4, you guys are going to love this. I do lots of disclaimers and pre-qualifiers, and this is still a work in progress, as all of these things really are. But I am done explaining myself or justifying things. I use the hashtag recovering Catholic, where I would pre-qualify with, I don't mean this, or I love my parents, but I would do that in therapy a lot. And my therapist said, Kim, the day you can talk about your parents without pre-qualifying, huge growth. And I've gotten better, but I really pause. And here's a trick that if you are an online business owner or you write and you work online a lot, I use Grammarly. And whether it's the free version or the paid, I have the paid, but Grammarly will tell me to correct something. And I'm like, that's how I would say it. But Grammarly comes back and says, remove that word, you're going to sound more confident. And so writing things out for me has been a big, sort of a bonus to curbing and shifting some of these behaviors and habits. Number 5, this is a good one, is buying into money is hard. I grew up working hard. And this was another mind-blowing moment for me when my money coach said to me, so you were commended for working hard, but never for earning money. Let that sink in for a minute, you guys. Commended for working hard, but not commended for earning money. And so there is this martyred element that ran deep in me of, well, you got to work hard, and worked myself ridiculously hard. And 6 days a week, that was retail management, but there's this badge of honor, and it's bullshit, you guys. So buying into money is hard is just a belief. And I'm going to get into a lot more of that and how you can rewire your brain when we start talking about money in the brain and all the stuff I'm doing with Women, Wisdom, and Wealth. But working hard does not equate to earning what you want. So one is this societal approval, well, you worked hard, and one is sort of this feeling that feels a little bit out of reach, but it's not the case. So working hard does not equate to earning what you want. I want you to start choosing to believe in something different. So that's what I did. So even if you can't necessarily believe it, are you willing to believe? Another great saying. And the last thing I'll say with this piece right here is I do the work. I used to do back-breaking work, hence having herniated disc surgery in Costa Rica, 2.5 years ago. But you don't have to do back-breaking work, and I'm not negating people who do, but if that's not for you, sweating and grinding and hustling and exhaustion does not equate to earning well either. So that's a belief I have let go of, that buying into money, being hard to earn what you want is just a story. It's a belief. Number 6, sorry, I didn't number 6 and 7 on my little document here. So number 6 is comparing my path to others. I definitely was on the traditional trajectory, right? Like got married, bought the house, suburbia, 2 kids, all that. Of course, it was all uprooted and whatnot when I was widowed. I've always had this hardwired bent in me that there was something else I was supposed to do with my life. So even though I followed that somewhat early on, I would say I opened a retail scrapbook store at 28. I was 28 when we did that. But I've done all these other things, moved abroad. I moved out of state by myself. There was still this little nudge of what will other people think. Here's an example. When I was living in Costa Rica, there was a woman in the building that we were friends for kind of a hot minute. And she used to just judge me and ride me all the time about, what are you doing? You need to go see things. You need to go here. You need to go there. You need to see other parts of the country. I loved the community I was living in. I was content going to the beach or doing more touristy type things when friends came. But it took working through that a little bit to get like, I don't need to do this. And again, therapist was, Kim, you could go nowhere else. And that doesn't mean your experience for you is not completely valuable and completely worthy of what you want to create in your life. Needless to say, didn't stay friends too long with this person, but the truth is, I'm done. Like, if I don't want to do something, I don't care. I don't like huge crowds. I'm not a concert goer. I don't like going to big sporting events. Hats off if you do. Zero judgment. But I'm not going to go just because somebody else wants to. And I'm not going to compare the fact that I don't want to do that to those that do. So it definitely takes practice, which, again, this is all the neuroscience stuff that, I cannot wait to get into with you guys. Here's number 7, okay? The last piece of the 7 things I ditched after 50 was hiding any part of who I am. I'm going to give you a few examples to make sense of this, because most people that meet me would not think that I'm shy or I hold anything back, for what it's worth, but I have, especially when you're told in the online marketing space, or you need a niche down, you need to do this, and you don't want to alienate people. So I'm going to just run through a few of those things with you and explain a little bit of why. And I'm hoping with each of these elements that I've shared with you that you can sort of take a look in the mirror and say, am I doing that? Or what are the 7 things that I've ditched? Or 2 things, or 10 things, or 20, whatever it is. So the first thing is my politics. And I'm never going to turn this channel into a political channel, I'll tell you that right now. But I am a Democrat. I'm in the United States going through whatever it is we're going through. I don't know what you want to call this right now. And for a long time, I was very hesitant to express my beliefs and opinions, and I'm done. I'm done with that. I won't ever attack people. That's not who I am. I want to be for change and for the good that I want to see in the world, but I'm not going to hide that side of myself either. So that's kind of a serious thing that I'm not hiding and holding back. Another one, which I'm not really shy about this, but is my love of Harry Potter. And here's how I do hide it, right? I've talked about Harry Potter and the love I have of it. And I love the idea of magic. And I don't mean a wand as much as I would love a wand, but there's so much more that we don't know about in the universe, which is where I think that neuroscience has really kind of tipped things over for me. I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase that science is just magic explained. I was never a science person in school, but there's this whole element of magic and creativity and possibility and hope that makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I put out better quality. I put out messages that might resonate with somebody, and I'm speaking from the heart because it's who I am. So here's how I hide my Harry Potter-ness. And that is that on my phone, I have an iPhone, and you know where it says sent from my iPhone? Well, mine says sent from Hogwarts via owl. And I've caught myself multiple times when replying to somebody new or replying to something a little bit more business related, I delete that. And I'm like, why? You work for yourself. They can like it or not. It doesn't matter. So they think it's goofy. It's probably not a right fit to either work together, collaborate, whatever that case is. So I'm not hiding Harry Potter at all. So if you email me and I send it from my phone, you're going to get a sent from Hogwarts via owl until I change it to something else. Another piece that I have somewhat, not totally held back on, but I joked, right? Recovering Catholic. So I was raised Catholic. Organized religion does not suit me at this stage of my life, and it hasn't for a long time. I'm very spiritual. I have listened to a lot of spiritual teachers. I would say love and kindness is kind of my religion, but I'm also, I believe in something greater. I do. I believe in all of the things that I'm learning. Side note, which I do a lot also, is Dr. Joe Dispenza is kind of my latest and greatest only guru right now. That's where I really got into neuroscience, and there's so much more that we're capable of and so much more possibility that I love figuring out ways to become a better version of myself and constantly learn and improve, and not in the sense that anything is broken or wrong, but there's an insatiable curiosity within me. And when I say insatiable, this is a little metaphor that I'm going to leave you with. That talking to my mentor the other day, I shared, and I said, this curiosity is kind of like having this infinite buffet of food in front of you. However, I mean, you literally can't see the end of it, right? We've all been to a buffet at one time or another. You know, there's just not enough room in your stomach for everything you want to try or taste. The difference with this insatiable curiosity is that I want to take my plate, step up to the buffet table, and take one thing off and just enjoy every morsel. I want to enjoy every bite. I want to savor the flavor and the taste, and then know that I'll move on to the next thing and the next thing. That's what I mean by insatiable curiosity. It's infinite, it's never ending, and so there's a playfulness to that too, right? That's where I kind of pull in the magic and the hope and the possibility. So anyways, you guys, those are my 7 things that I have ditched over 50. They kind of run the gamut, but that is all I've got for you today. Let me know if this resonated with you, what you liked about. If you haven't, please click the like button, subscribe, and of course a comment goes a long way for me. So anyways, thanks as always for watching, and I will catch you next time.